I was wrong in doing what I did.
No, no, no! Are you listening?
I dropped my son off today, Sean here, and I said, son, look around. Do you see those young girls? The girls you talk to every day? Do you see them with their backpacks in their arms? Probably got trapper keepers in there, probably lying in bed with him right now watching a movie or something. They've got trapper keepers in there, their homework. Now imagine a 30-something-year-old man pulling up in the pickup line in the afternoon. Hey, baby, how was school today? Come on, we're going to go back to my trailer. Love you. He was just in awe, I guess, of the realization that this is what Lorne wanted, and those were the age of the girls he was aiming at. I thought about it, and I don't think Lorne was ever sat down and no one ever imparted some words of wisdom. It was always scolding. Stop your horse shit. Stop your bullshit. Pay attention in school. Don't do that, Lorne. I don't think his stepdad or whoever it was ever sat him down and said, look, this is what you need to know. Here's something you need to learn. This is going to help you in life. Basic stuff. Get knocked down 9 times, get up 10, whatever it is. I'm tired this morning, I can't even remember. But just something as simple as saying, Lorne, when your life cracks, when it falls apart, it's your job to pick up the pieces, put it back together. Doesn't have to be good as new. Doesn't have to look the way it used to, because you're always missing a piece. When you have to fix something, you take an engine apart, there's always a screw missing or a piece missing. Hell, when I put stuff together, there might be a bunch of screws missing. He had a father figure. And I think he hints at some point that he was a very thoughtful guy. And he cared about the family. And then he cries about the guy leaving later on in life. I mean, we talked about reactive attachment disorder and just how pathetic this dude is. Pathetic. I just think nobody ever sat him down. Nobody gave him any philosophy. There's so much he could have been given. Lorne, and this is in the top 5 things I say to people who come to me for help, who come to me for advice. I remind them, look, are you going to choose uncertainty over change? I think Lorne does. He would rather sit in his trailer not knowing what's coming next. Ignorance. I think that's been his excuse. Well, I didn't know. I wasn't ever meant to do that. Like Jeff Stacy. I didn't know. Oh boy, Pluto. Lorne would rather choose uncertainty over change. And some people, they confuse uncertainty with faith and hope. And that's not the case. If you're going to quit smoking, you need to attempt to quit smoking. If you're an unrepentant drunken pedophile and that's what's holding you back in life, you make the change. He's lived his entire life from the sting, just certain for no reason that he's getting off probation. Not willful ignorance, but just knowing that there's no guarantee that he's going to do it. If you make a change, if you step forward and you try to progress, there is no uncertainty. There's maybe the uncertainty of the outcome, but you're working towards it. That's when you can have faith. That's when you can have hope, when you're actively trying to make a change. I get so sick of hearing him talk about, well, I'm trying to quit smoking. Ever since his first catfish call and they've complained about him smoking, he just keeps doing it. And I think in his head, maybe it's the uncertainty. Or maybe it is the fact that he knows that no woman is ever going to come out there, so what's the point of changing? I'm not going to drink again, not going to smoke again. That's the only way he could dampen the shit that is his life, is by substance abuse. And it's common. And I've been on pain medication before, and I do know that it dulls your senses. I do know that if you take an entire Lortab, because I had my appendix burst, and I was on pain meds because I had a tube literally, as DSP would said, sticking out of my body. And they had to cut me open to get it. So yeah, I was in pain. But I remember being on morphine and just not knowing where the hell I was at. And I think Lorne would rather not know where the hell he's at than, be normal. Because if he's normal, there would have to be a plan. It's hard to quit drinking. You understand? It's so hard. Okay, Lorne, You know what alcohol does to your body. You know what smoking does to your body. So you should expect that something bad is going to happen to you. But knowing our luck, you'll be the only guy in the history of ever who kills his kidney, kills his lungs, and is still healthy as a horse. And we talked about the fact that Lorne thinks that one story out of a million, that confirmation bias, he'll look, see 99 stories, and the one story out of 100 will say, so-and-so smoked till they were 80 years old. And look at L. Ron Hubbard. Not smoking causes lung cancer, he said slyly to people as he proclaimed that doctors were stupid. And in the end, the man died sick, delusional, screaming for pain medication. I'm just saying, that's Lorne. He would rather have the uncertainty of his health. Me, I don't want the uncertainty, but I know I've done damage to my body. I know I've damaged my knee and my back and everything else, and I'm trying to keep up with it. That's not uncertainty, that's responsibility. And that's another thing. Lorne doesn't embrace responsibility. So there's always going to be uncertainty. There have been weeks, a month at work where I put off doing things just because I don't want to deal with it. I am not going to lie to you guys. I'll tell you who I am. That is who I am. I get tired sometimes. Last night I went to bed early. I'm just exhausted. It's the way that I am. If you sat Lorne down and you gave him a plan, one of you guys who's much smarter and much more organized came up with a plan. If you wanted to do this, I'd love to see it. Come up with a plan, send it to Lorne, and in big letters, write, guaranteed to improve your life, guaranteed to help your case to get off probation and parole. I wouldn't even worry that he would get off, because he wouldn't do it. He would look at it, he'd read about 2 lines, it would show that he would have to do something, and he'd say, yeah, nah, I'm not going to do that. This is a troll job. I'm not going to change. Much like Dark Side Bill. It's all the trolls and the detractors, Lorne. It's all the catfish. It's all NBC's, Avery Von Erck. I don't need to change. People want me to change, but I don't need to change. I like who I am. I'm a better person than I was. And that, my friends, the I'm a better person than I was, that will kill you every time. Remember Lorne, and this is not what I'm talking about when he said, at least I didn't drink or drive last night. I mentioned that a couple times because he sees that as validation for his bullshit, I'm not the person I was is a horrible mistake to make. It's okay if you look back, weight loss. Wow, look at me now, look at me then. But when you're trying to change your behavior for the positive, it's okay maybe to look at a few of the things you've noticed, but that shouldn't be it. And for Lorne, that's it. Well, we had a conversation, quality time. I talked about how dumb you were for believing in Alex Jones. I think he believes that's how people talk. I think he believes that having a conversation and an argument, that's how normal people talk. If Lorne's life exists on TV, I would imagine he sees a lot of arguments. He probably saw a lot of arguments in his house, and he just assumed that the interaction between people that includes an argument shows that you care. So why would Lorne change his behavior? He never had anyone that imparted any kind of wisdom to him. Lorne is the embodiment of 1% of the time it works 99% of the time. Or 1% of the time it works all of the time. He does something, it works, and that's the way he's going to do it for the rest of his life. He is an old man. He is set in his ways. He probably blurts out racist crap about Mexicans or whoever else. He watches the news, regurgitates it. I don't know which news he watches. Probably, local news. I doubt he could understand Fox News or CNN or whatever's going on around the world. His knowledge of vaccines, he didn't do the research, he didn't do anything. Now, I personally don't believe the microchip. I think most of us don't. But we do know the dangers. I do know after I got the vaccine, I was really sick, pale. I came to work. People were like, are you all right, man? I think I may have had a reaction to it. I didn't feel well at all. But I did know the dangers when I took it because I did do the research. Lorne doesn't have to do any research. Debbie said it best. Lorne, you could be told that some guy's outside flying around the house like Superman. And she said, and you'd believe it, cool, or whatever she said. Because that's Lorne. That's how he deals with uncertainty. That's how he deals with it. He wants to be told things, but only things that don't involve him. Because if he's told things that involve him, he gets angry. Look at how you're behaving. Well, what about you and Jamie? Well, what about you and Alex, Casey? What about you? Yeah, well, he uses that to validate his actions. He uses it to show that he's normal. Look at you, look at everybody else. I'm normal. So there is no uncertainty. I'm living life the way it should be lived. Something else that bothers me is when people are told, you know, life's got its ups and downs, its trials and tribulations. Yes, that's true. But before that, you should have talked about how people create their own ups and downs, their own trials and tribulations. Because if Lorne is told that everybody else has their ups and downs and trials and tribulations, and that's just how life is, Lorne's going to feel like he was dealt a bad hand. Yes, he was born into a shit family. At least, whenever Lorne talks about how great his family is, I just assume it was terrible. But Lorne was born into a family where he wasn't raised right, obviously. I mean, he would have some sense, some semblance of how to talk to a woman because of his mom. I put you right up there with mom. You were Olivia Newton-John, or whatever the bullshit he says. Way to win a young girl over, Lorne Armstrong, comparing her to a movie about the freaking 60s or 50s or whatever nostalgia it was. Way to win a woman over there, tough guy. Way to tell them that they look like an aging star. That was epic, one-tooth wonder. With your buck-tooth bonanza. I try to coach my son. When he asks me questions about why girls act the way they do, I give him all the information that I have. And I don't just say, if a woman treats you like shit, she likes you. If a girl treats you like crap, Merrick, they're trying to get your attention. Guaranteed. Lorne heard that. And that worked for him. That explains why you're being so mean to me. You want me. Because if a woman... I saw a movie, Barbarian. I told you that. And in that movie, there's a line about, well, you know, initially she was saying, no, but you know me, man, you know, I got game. And, you know, eventually she wanted it. She was just saying it no at first because she was afraid. It was really gross. And it's things that I could hear other people saying. There were two guys in high school. Straight up, I was a tattletale. These were people I thought were like acquaintances, good acquaintances. They weren't my friends, but one of them was dating a cheerleader. And we ended up dating, but one of them was dating a cheerleader. And they had picked up two girls and said, the only way we're taking you home is if you perform a sexual act on us. And they did. One of them was crying while she did it. Think of that. These guys thought it was okay. Unbelievable, man. And it was never reported. Back then, you know, it's not something you report. You did, but there was shame, and the courts were like, you know, we don't have any proof. Get the hell out of here. So, I found out, and I told the girl the one guy was dating, because I felt an obligation to say that. Now, Lorne, I don't know if anybody... I'm sorry for getting up a tangent, but it was a really bad situation. I didn't want the girl that I knew and was friends with to be associated with a douchebag like that. Just gross. And he admitted it to her. Admitted it. I don't think anybody ever told Lorne, look, man, that behavior is not okay. You stalking this woman or this girl in high school is not okay. Giving gifts to women who don't want, or girls, women who don't want anything to do with you, it's not okay, man. You're not winning them over when they're showing disgust and they're telling you go away. For some reason, I mean, yelling at Jamie, like I said, I'm gonna fucking marry you. Yeah, Lorne, way to win her over. You're not together and you're screaming about marrying her. somebody should have sat his ass down and imparted words of wisdom. I don't know if they did, but I can't imagine they did. Everything that Lorne's ever blurted out has been about what he learned in class and what his counselor said. He paid attention to nothing growing up. Absolutely freaking nothing. He doesn't try to give any advice, and if he ever did, it was probably something ridiculous. Or I just brushed it off at the time because I was like, God, he's so dumb. I think we can all agree that screaming and yelling at Ramona, being on mute with her working, he considered that quality time. Calling Debbie and leaving voicemail messages talking about wanting to listen to this song with you, just having the song play, and then sometimes hanging up and sometimes saying, okay, love you, see you, bye. That was love to him. He didn't understand that maybe his mom, they slept in separate rooms, he said. Maybe his mom never showed love. They never showed love for each other. It was just, we're going to be together for tax purposes. Or his mom needed help and tolerated it. But philosophy was never given to him. It never was. He doesn't live by a philosophy. I try to be nice to everybody. When somebody's being an absolute bitch or a dick to me, I remain nice. As Patrick Swayze said. What if they call your mom a whore or whatever he said? Is she? If somebody does this, you be nice. And he keeps going with that. Because I believe in that. I believe you try to be nice. People who attack me, I'm nice. Now, if I'm out and you're physically trying to hurt me, I'm not going to be nice. I'm not going to take the risk of being seriously hurt because I want to turn the other cheek. I'm going to throw a right hook. So if you ever piss me off and we fight, just know that a right hook's coming, so you might want to practice. I'm kidding. I'm completely kidding. I try to be nice. And I think that's what Lorne should live by, but he can't. He doesn't know how to be nice. He's nice when it serves his purpose. And it's not really nice. It's the smart ass. We all hate that. The smoker's cough and they're laughing when Blue Boy or Jamie or someone's just annihilating him. And the only way he can deal with it is to laugh. Well, you know, she hates me. She must love me. I wish he had a friend. Someone who was like a big brother to him. Someone he looked up to. Someone who could coach him and guide him. And I think we all wish that he would change. But we know he's not going to. He's still the same guy. I don't see any change in him at all except, and I know he's drinking now. Some of you may not agree, but I know he's drinking. I'd love to sit down with his probation and parole and ask him, excuse me here, what the fuck are you thinking? Listen to him. Look at how he's behaving. Listen to this guy. Something isn't connecting there. Something isn't right. He's dangerous. He can't pass your class. He deserves to be in jail or prison because he's a danger. There is nothing redeeming about him. Being in jail, it would get him away from his debt. It would get him away from that trailer. It would get him away from the fucking phone. Come on. Why can't you see that? I just wish that they would do that. If somebody's not going to be there to guide him, he needs to be in jail. It would be a killer who was released, as it's happened in the past, and they just went back to killing. It would be like if a killer, he was on parole, and all of his conversations involved, I'm going to fucking kill you. Or better yet, like Lorne drinking, you heard the sound of knives and axes being sharpened in the background, and you're like, oh, that's okay, and he can't pass his serial killer class. He can't figure out why it's not okay to kill people, and he says, I don't know, my head was messed up, I just can't figure out why I killed these people. Then put his ass back in prison. Same principle. That's my raging video for today. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one.
Hang on, I can't even catch my breath. Hang on.